guys, welcome back to my channel. So recently I asked you guys questions on Instagram about what you would like to see in a Q&A video because this is such a super hectic time in my life, as you guys can probably see. So I just thought I'd get it all on camera for you guys. There's just so many updates happening, whether it's moving, wedding plans, graduation, jobs, marriage in general, traveling. So I just thought that we could have this little sit down together and answer some of your questions that you had. So I'm going to be reading them off my phone and hopefully you'll be able to get answers to something you were wondering about. So I'm about to start with the questions, and I chose the questions that mostly had to do with wedding plans, marriage, home decorating, careers, anything that's like not typical of the fashion-based content that I usually share, just because I haven't talked much about this aspect yet, and it's all happening in a month. It's really insane. So let's get into this first question that is from Manat23, and it says, are you moving somewhere completely new that's far away from your current home and family life? And if so, how do you plan on adjusting? So to answer your question, yes, I am moving out of St. Louis. Hopefully it's only a little temporary for a few years or God knows how long. And we are moving to the upstate area, to New Jersey and New York. So the second part of her question was, how do I plan on adjusting? And personally, I've been thinking about it for quite some time that I am going to be moving and it's going to be a little bit of a change from the typical Midwest life. But I'm also excited because, I just finished college and it's going to be a nice opportunity to be able to live in a bigger city and experience both sides. And I'm always going to have St. Louis as home. Anytime I'm traveling anywhere, I'm always going to say my home is St. Louis. So that's just something I always going to carry with me. Question number 2, this is from Yasmin Q. Taish, and for the Q&A vid, what career do you want to pursue once you settle down with the move and all? So currently, I've been working in the blogging industry, in the fashion for about 6 years now, and it's something I want to continue pursuing as I move. And of course, I would love to get into more ventures that I do have plans for. So this is going to be a really good opportunity post-graduation to get into those fields. And honestly, I'm just really need to settle down first and move there and see what is around me, and from there I'll know more of what I want to do. But of course I would like to stay in the same career path I've been. So overall I really am interested in the business side of fashion, and not only fashion but other things in PR and international work, and so we'll see how things go from there. So someone asked, was it hard finding a hijabi friendly wedding dress? And actually yes, it was hard. So the first few months of looking in St. Louis, I was going around to some local shops we had here, and they would probably have like 1 or 2 long sleeve dresses in stock, and of course it was like filled with lace and like no beading whatsoever. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. And then it occurred to me, you know what, you should probably reach out to some Arab designer, just because they will automatically be able to understand everything you want. Like they'll understand that you want it to be modest, but you also want it to be elegant and chic. And so I reached out to Said Qubaisi, and fortunately they emailed me back. I really was not expecting this, and they emailed me back and they were so interested. And so I made the trip to Lebanon during my trip to Fashion Week. I just made a little quick 48-hour trip to Beirut with my sister, and from there we went and chose a wedding dress that they had in stock. And initially I had something else in mind that I had seen online, and I was set on it and everything. And then when I arrived, I saw something even nicer. So I was like, I actually want this one. So I tried it on. I literally only tried on that dress. I just tried it on and I was like, this is good, let's go. Like literally within minutes, I decided I like this dress. I had no more changes and no more searching, and we were going with that dress. And they also included a veil, which is super amazing. Like they beaded a scarf for me. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out on the wedding day, and I hope you guys are too. All right, so the next question is from Noon Yasin, and she says, what are your preparations mentally and physically towards marriage? Because I want you to spread awareness of marriage is not always as beautiful as we always imagine, and I can't wait to see you in your wedding dress. So honestly, I think preparing mentally and physically for marriage is definitely like a really big statement. I think that would apply more to maybe people back home where marriage is like a huge step in your life, but I honestly don't see it as being such a big step for me, because it's just like, the person you're marrying should be an asset to your life. Like it shouldn't be changing your life in any drastic way. They should be able to fit perfectly with the route you're going for and the goals you have in life. And so I really just see it as two people living together and supporting each other, and pursuing their goals together. So I don't have these physical and mental changes for marriage as much, but I do understand completely where they're coming from, and I understand that of course there are going to be changes maybe I don't know about just yet, or maybe that I've thought through. Of course, like having responsibility for another person rather than being under responsibility of your own parents is going to be definitely different. But of course, if you love the person, then you're going to be comfortable with it, and it's going to be something you want to do, and I look forward to it. Someone asked, what is your honeymoon place? Currently, we don't have any plans to be on a honeymoon just yet, but we will make plans for a trip together at some point soon. All right, so another question is from Wada Elb, and she asks, could you talk more about your background and your ethnicity, etc.? And so I'm of Syrian origin, but I was born and raised in the US, and so was my mom. And we're all originally of Syrian origin, and also my fiancé is also Syrian, and so that's just like something we have in common, especially being in a local community here where there's not many Syrians. So I have a question from Hafizat, and she says, will you be doing a book signing first, then have your walima in a couple of months, or are you doing it all at once? So actually we already had our religious marriage, as she's referring to. We had a religious ceremony a year and a half back, so that is already taken care of. So I have a question that's from Hussein, and she says, I see that you just graduated college. Congrats, by the way. So did I. And how are you able to travel to all these amazing places, knowing it can be pricey? And did social media help you travel? So of course, I'm always, very grateful for companies I get to work with when I'm traveling with them. But also a lot of times I do travel on my own. And I think, being in the blogging world, I've been doing it for about 6 years now. I may have mentioned that earlier. And so, it's over time I do expect in this career, being able to pursue things greater, especially because I've been blogging before high school and now I'm finished with college. So obviously it's been quite some time working in the industry, and so I'm always happy and grateful to be able to travel. And yes, it can be either with companies, it can be on my own, it can be with organizations. Every trip differs. All right, here is the juicy question we've all been waiting for. How did you meet your fiance? Did your parents arrange it, or did you get to know each other and then tell your parents you want to get married? So in my case, this is going to be the second option. Yes, we got to know each other and then we told our parents we wanted to get married. How did we meet? Honestly, we met in the community. We have a very local community here. It's a very tight-knit Syrian community, so obviously there's everyone knows each other, everyone is family friends, and that just was a good way to see each other over time and get to know each other. And from then, we both, when the time was right, arranged to get engaged and get married very soon, which is happening soon. So that was just a little story of how we got together. So another question I have is, have you ever had any other career aspirations, or has it always been fashion and business? Honestly, yes, I've had, I was interested in urban planning. I was interested in architecture. I was a pre-law major when I first entered college. I wanted to go to law school. I've always loved so many different aspects and different studies, especially more on the liberal arts side for sure. So not into the maths and sciences as much. Although it interests me, it's just something that I would never see myself pursuing long term. But the fashion and business has always been something I've always been interested in ever since I was little. A lot of people will say that they've always loved it since they're little, and that's something I personally liked. And I'm grateful that I was able to find social media as a platform to use towards pursuing these goals I had, which is really just to share my interest in modest fashion and other ways of dressing that wouldn't make it so burdensome in the morning to get ready. And I just want to make it more effortless. So that was really my goals growing up in pursuing this industry. Next question is from Life in Shambles, and she asks, where do you see yourself going with Instagram, and what are your goals? Do you think you will change when you're married? Honestly, I've always been changing just over time, whether it was in my style goals or in my personal goals. I do see my overall goals being the same, but obviously as you get older and have more experiences, you're going to have different ventures, you're going to have different styles. When I started my blog, I was 16, and obviously my style was way more hipster and teenage-ish, and I do think I've evolved over time, and so I see that will continue to happen, but I don't think anything drastic for sure. Next is from Covered in Layers, and she asks, since you're moving, could you please share where did you find inspiration for home decor and your favorite online stores and catalogs for furniture? So currently I am struggling with this one just as much as anyone is. Obviously we all love IKEA. It's like a really good place to get furniture that looks nice and it's at a good price. And it's also very easy to move when you have to, like whether it's like changing homes or wanting to move it around in the house, it's not too bulky. So I really like going to IKEA. Home Goods is really awesome too because they have a lot of really cute things that are a little bit different than what you'll usually find in stores. Also, Target has some really nice collection now. The Magnolia collection is really pretty, so I really like their whole mid-century vibe that they have, and that's kind of the vibe that we are going for in our new home together, is more of like a mid-century vibe. I plan on filling the whole thing with plants and greenery, just letting you guys know. Next question, it's from Wadar, and she says, when are you getting married? Can we have a sneak peek of your wedding dress? So when am I getting married? I'm getting married in the end of July. So it should be quite soon from when I'm sharing this video. And a sneak peek of my wedding dress. I can't show you guys my actual wedding dress, but I can describe it to you guys. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be long sleeves. It's going to be beaded. It has a little bit of a train, and I'm going to be wearing like a head covering also with a veil. And that's about it that I can share for now, but you will see on the day, hopefully. All right, so my next question is from Hafsa Siddiqui, and she asks, are you looking forward to a grand wedding or do you love to celebrate with just close people? To answer your question, I'm looking forward to definitely a smaller wedding than the typical Arab wedding. So we really wanted to go with just like 100 to 200 of our close friends and family. And this may seem like a lot to other people, but for Arab comparison, this is very small. It's kind of hard to plan a wedding with such a limited amount of people, but we wanted to make it our special day and have our friends and family with us. And we also wanted to have it at a specific venue we found, which would only accommodate such a smaller number. So we were willing to go with the smaller number for the venue and just for the time that we will enjoy with our close ones. So I have a question from Yaeen, and she asks, what are your life goals? Do you see yourself as a mom staying home, and inshallah you wish to have kids? How much? I know basic questions, but it's about the little things, and much love. So this one actually made me kind of laugh because obviously a lot of people are going to ask you about kids. I feel like this is a thing that people automatically ask you about kids when you're about to get married. And so my life goals would really be to, do something that creates meaning and value for other people. And I would, any business venture, any venture I pursue, I'd always want it to make it meaningful for everyone. And I want it to benefit people. I want to solve a problem, whether it's in the fashion industry, business, and any like humanitarian projects. My life goal will always be to, make yourself useful for not only yourself and your family, but for everybody. And do you see yourself as a mom staying home? Well, as a mom staying home, not necessarily. I mean, obviously there's, women who have children and they are stay-at-home moms, but being a stay-at-home mom is a job itself. Like there's this one video I saw where you can rack up the amount that you would have to pay a stay-at-home mom, whether the cooking and cleaning and all these things that she does. So obviously we appreciate all our mothers that are stay-at-home moms. Of course, if I ever were to eventually be a stay-at-home mom, I would always keep myself busy with business projects, with other ventures, and even volunteering. I think it's always important to keep yourself busy. And even if you want to be there for your children, you need to be there for other people as well. So currently I don't see myself being a stay-at-home mom. I always see myself, if I wanted to be a mom in the future, always, being active in so many different things, as well as, for my family first. The final part of this question is, do you wish to have kids? And yes, I do wish to have kids, but not currently. I mean, I'm only 22, 23. I would want to wait a few years till that. But of course, I would love to, see my children, let my family enjoy them and their grandchildren and all that good stuff. So I have another question I received, and it was about what are my wedding colors and theme. So for that, I'm going for like a rustic French chateau theme, just because the venue we picked is similar to like a chateau. And it's gonna be a lot of greenery, ivory, vines, all that good like homey vibe. So color-wise, I do see it being pretty much like ivory with maybe a touch of blush, but I'm not going any crazy, path on any of the colors. I think it looks elegant when it's like very natural colors, and especially because the venue is a bit more like wooden with a lot of metal, so it's very like rustic. So you want to add a lot of greens to brighten it up and like liven up the party. So guys, that concludes all the questions I received from you all. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something useful or learned something new about me. And if you are going to be in the New York, New Jersey area, I would love if you'd hit me up. You know, maybe we can do something together. And stay tuned for my upcoming video. Also, if you missed anything here, which is going to be called Why I Started My Blog, and I'll answer so many more of the questions I received that were related to personal dressing, where I'm from, all these questions you may have. They're going to be in that video. So thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for more.